All-Star, close to Acosta, unable to control it there. The goalkeeper gets the assist, and that's Chris's first ever in All-Star competition. Chris is playing in his second All-Star game. He's been in the MISL, however, for 9 years. Doc Lawson outside now against Dale Mitchell. He'll play it off of Michael Collins, and it'll go out for a restart, a kick-in from about equal distance, top of the box in the red line, near board side. That's on right wing for Dallas. Dallas and the All-Stars both on 2 common fouls here in the game. We're still in the first period, and once again, we thank you for joining us here on our simulcast on 85 KTAC, the radio home of the Tacoma Stars, and of course, Northwest Cable Sports. Now Marcio Leite dribbling against Kevin Crow inside the arc. He's double teamed there by Fernando Clavijo, and Clavijo makes the tackle. Marcio Leite commits the foul, so that's 3 on Dallas. And the All-Stars will bring it out of their own zone. Preki will drop back between Crow and Clavijo and clear the zone up the right wing side for Michael Collins. Collins, right wing side, Doc Lawson, who has a body that has been chipped out of granite. He is just a marvelous athlete, and he is the oldest player in terms of time of service in the MISL. This is Doc's 11th year.
Well, he's a great credit to the game of soccer, and he's wonderfully well respected in Dallas here and all around the country for soccer and his contributions. And the crazy thing about the third goal, Dick, was the fact that just prior to the third goal for the All-Stars, Dallas were just beginning to get back in the game here. They had 2 nice efforts to try and score a goal, and that third goal might just cause a lot of problems for Dallas now.
And, of course, Dallas was denied on their power play, so they're 0 for 1 tonight in the man advantage. Doc Lawson with the ball, picked up by LA's Michael Collins, who's having an excellent year. Takes a shot, and Chris McCarroll, way off his line, was able to get a piece of it. Deflected to Mike Powers in center far board side. He's picked by Preki. Preki and Dale Mitchell try to play a little 2-man game. Preki, as he can do so well, digs the ball out and clears it upfield, but a delayed call by Kelly Mock will call foul number 4 on the Dallas Sidekicks. So Dallas will change their line. Richard Chinapoo comes on for Doc Lawson. The All-Stars bring on Eric Rasmussen, Carl Valentine, and Branko Segota. They'll join Kevin Crow and Fernando Clavijo, who are back at the red line. Clavijo restarts it for Crow. Kevin Crow, an All-American out of San Diego State, has been with San Diego his entire career. Kevin's now in his 5th All-Star game. He has been in every year that he's been in the league. Kevin, of course, a 2-time Defender of the Year and a member of the United States national team, as Richard Chinapoo brings it back down. Takes the shot and just barely misses it, followed up by Carpin, again by Carpin, right on the doorstep, and Carroll denies Carpin at least 3 times.
That was a miraculous save by Chris McCarroll there. I mean, how he got to, I don't know, and it was just a wonderful piece of play. A good shot at the post, and the garbage man was a wonderful player at that back post. Carpin almost got a goal. It was a miraculous save by Chris McCarroll there.
Back come Dallas, and they're relentless. They're not going to give in even though they're down 3-0. Kevin Smith working right wing side to Carpin. A 1-2 played out to Georgie Acosta. Acosta can't get any quality leather on it, and it's won there by Kevin Crow out to Segota. Segota's head-manning pass is intercepted by Troy Snyder. Snyder will give it right back to Kevin Smith, who will orchestrate. Here's Snyder now running in, a sliding tackle by Kim Runtbed behind his own line. Clears it off for Segota. Segota impeded there by Kevin Smith and fouled by Kevin Smith. Now the Dallas Sidekicks are in jeopardy. They are on 5 fouls. Eric Rasmussen, they call him the Great Dane. They call him the Wizard of Oz, obviously playing for Wichita and Kansas. That fits, doesn't it? Eric the Great, he has so many nicknames. He is just a marvelous player. He'll post up high, Valentine low. Godfrey Ingram will play it across, but it'll be won by Dallas. The near board side, Kevin Smith trying to clear his zone now with Richard Chinapoo, and they're able to do it. Up the right side, hits the back of the retreating Bruce Savage. Loose ball in center for Carl Valentine. Now to the rocket, Kimmy Rudbed to Eric Rasmussen. Rasmussen double teamed there by Smith and Salgado, and Eloy commits the foul, and that should be number 6 on the Dallas Sidekicks. So, with 1:19 to go here in the opening period, the Dallas Sidekicks have drawn 6 fouls, and they'll lose a man. 3-0 is our score. Stay with us now. We're going to pause for just 30 seconds on the not the Tacoma Stars. I knew I'd say that all day. This is the All-Stars Soccer Network. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Back here in the Reunion Arena. Just a little over a minute to go. 3-0. All-Stars leading it. All-Stars now in a power play with Preki orchestrating. Right wing side, he's supported by Segota. Inside, he's got Mitchell and Chico Borja, and Rasmussen's on the left side, but Dallas wins the ball and clears the zone. It's loose in center off of Dallas's Michael King for Mitchell, and the All-Stars will come back. Serving the 2-minute minor is Georgie Acosta in the penalty box. Minute 25 to go on the power play for the All-Stars. 40 seconds to go on the big clock here in the first period. Now Segota to Preki. Preki across. I don't know if he was shooting there, Al, or trying to pass over to Dale Mitchell, but Mitchell's got it on the point. He's picked up outside by Mike Powers, and they run it around the perimeter to the near board side. Preki right back to Segota. The captain fires away, and he's short of the right post. Long rebound for Preki. Preki looking to chip inside for Wichita's Chico Borja, and is dug out by the short-handed Dallas Sidekicks. Michael King, born in London, off quickly for Troy Snyder, and the ball was up for Snyder, unable to really get a solid boot on the ball. Loose at the All-Star red line, where Kevin Crowe plays it back at the buzzer. So we have completed 15 minutes of this 10th edition of the MISL All-Star Game. Our score after the first quarter, the All-Stars 3, the homestanding Dallas Sidekicks nothing. We'll be back with more on the All-Star Soccer Network. The captain of this All-Star team, and of course one of the outstanding players in the MISL, Branko, has been in this league for, well, let's see, Branko's now in his 8th year of the MISL, and this is his 7th All-Star game, and he, by the way, is an all-decade player. Branko's 25-second goal into the first period, the fastest ever in All-Star competition. Dale Mitchell got the assist on that one. The second and third goals were scored by Preki. Preki scoring the second goal, which would be his 5th All-Star goal from Dale Mitchell, comes right back at the 10-20 mark, scoring from Chris Vaccaro, his 2nd of the match and his 6th in All-Star competition. And you, as the head coach of the Prexter, Alan Hinton, have to be very proud.
Well, I am very proud. He's a fine young man. He's playing very well for the Tacoma Stars, and he's continuing on his good form here tonight. And he scored 2 spectacular goals. And the kid's on fire. He's playing as well as he's ever played in his life and enjoying himself, which is something I like to see in a soccer player. Things are going very well for Preki. The strange thing about the game, Dick, is the fact that Papalayo has let 3 goals in tonight. He had no chance on any of them, and Dallas are making a good game of this, and they've gone after the All-Star team. Chris Vaccaro has had much more to do than I thought he would have to do, and it's going to be an interesting second quarter, but obviously the class on the field and the great talent is obviously with the All-Stars, but Dallas are playing a real spirited game, and I'm enjoying the game a great deal like everyone else here.
Well, we're enjoying having you with us. Alan Hinton, the head coach of the Tacoma Stars, making his debut as a broadcaster. I'll tell you what, did you ever think back when you were professional in England that someday in the United States that you would be doing radio and television?
Dick, when I was first a soccer player, I thought I was going to be a soccer player forever. I didn't think you could get old. I just thought it was play, kick the ball, and have some fun, and win some soccer games. But it's real nice to be here, and it's wonderful that the lovely people of the Northwest are able to see and hear this great game as they are. Wonderful.
Absolutely. By the way, we have a rookie making his debut, and he has now moved down to the left-hand side. That is Chris Vaccaro. I beg your pardon, Chris Vaccaro, who is sitting in for the only rookie chosen in this game. Victor Neguera would have been down there on the left-hand side guarding the nets for the All-Stars, but some problems personal, and he's unable to get the start here tonight. So Chris Vaccaro down on your left now, and Joe Papaleo has switched over to the right side. Setting the All-Stars and the Dallas Sidekicks for you as we are underway here in the second period. Remember, it's still a power play for a few more seconds by the All-Stars, but having said that, on comes George Acosta, and both teams are back at full strength. The All-Stars unable to score against Dallas in the man advantage that carried over from the first period. Michael Collins is inside the box. Out on the wing on the left is Godfrey Ingram and Chico Borja. Jan Goosen's on with Carl Valentine. That's the All-Star team who are, for the radio audience, dressed in blue tops, white shorts, and blue socks. The red tops, the white shorts, and the red socks belong to the Dallas Sidekicks, and they have their fine defender Mike Powers at the back behind the red line with Troy Snyder. Beto and Acosta, the midfield players, and up front, the single striker, Mark Carpin, who, as we have told you so many times, really, well, he's Excedrin headache number 23 to the Tacoma Stars.
He always gets a lot of goals against Tacoma, as you quite rightly say, Dick. He's a good professional, and he'll be looking to get a goal tonight, and has been most unfortunate not to score one in that first quarter there.
Little Eloy Salgado, we told you, is the youngest player in the MISL's All-Star Game at 18. The MISL has 2 players that are 25 years of age. They're the next youngest, and one of them is Preki. Timmy Whitman, who has been in the league, can you believe this, for 8 years, is also 25 years of age. So Preki and Tim Whitman, second only to the youngster Eloy Salgado of the Dallas Sidekicks. Now Richard Chinapoo takes on Carl Valentine as he penetrates the All-Star zone, brings it left wing side at the point. Inside, Carpin sniffing around out there, but nothing there for Chinapoo. Plays it back to Troy Snyder. Troy, who started his career at Cleveland, comes out of that Ohio area, and if you didn't hear us on the pregame show, the Cleveland Crunch, the brand new edition, 1990 or 89-90 season, will be coming to the MISL. So the Richfield Coliseum will be back in use, and it'll be a venue for the Cleveland Crunch, brand new team that was announced here at the All-Star break as the ball is played out by Dallas. We're in the second period. 3-0 is our score in favor of the All-Stars. 12 and a half minutes to go here before our halftime break. And at halftime, we're going to talk to Commissioner Bill Kentling about all the proceedings going on, as well as everything else that's happening in the Major Indoor Soccer League this All-Star break. So we'll have a lot of activity for you at the halftime. Make sure you stay with us. Preki on now with Segota, Clavijo, Kevin Crow, and Eric Rasmussen. Doc Lawson, Beto, Michael King, Richard Chinapoo, and I believe little Eloy Salgado. Here's a chance for Eric Rasmussen. He's pushed from behind and fouled by Doc Lawson, and that'll bring the ball back out to the top of the arc for a free kick for the All-Stars. So Eric Rasmussen sliding into the box, gets a little edge on his defender, and Branko Segota, along with Preki, will be back there to restart it. The free kick, Preki will take the free kick or pass it. He does. He goes to Segota, who will hammer it away, and Beto will get in front of that ball and deflect it up into the stands. So it's quite ironic. In All-Star games past, it has been the great Steve Jungle doing all the free kicking and the orchestrating and being the floor leader. He is now not making the All-Star team, giving away to his heir apparent, Preki. Now for Segota, Preki puts it down in the corner. Segota trying to set up Rasmussen with a little head ball there, but it's stripped away by Dallas, and Michael King's got some space. Michael King against Fernando Clavijo, one of the best defenders in the MISL, has to pull up. Give it to Salgado. He'll take the shot. It's stopped by Chris Vaquero. Another hit ball attempt by Salgado. Chinapoo also in there, and Salgado racked one across the mouth of Chris Vaquero's goal, and somehow Vaquero has kept that ball away from the back of the net and denying Dallas a goal. Again, Beto in center. Up for King, who fires away short of the near post. Long rebound out the red line, near board side to Preki. He sends Dale Mitchell up front. Now Preki on a dribble drive. Preki up and over the line. Preki on a tackle from behind by Salgado, loses the ball to Beto. Preki gets it back and gives it quickly to Godfrey Ingram. Ingram working inside the arc, slides down against Mike Powers, and the ball is loose. Powers is right back up and collects it, played it back to Joe Papaleo, his goalkeeper. So a lot of action in the Dallas third of the field. Distribution by Papaleo now till Salgado. Salgado looking to headman it for Carpin, and the youngster out of Irving, Texas, a little long. Vaquero will collect it there, and back come the All-Stars with Kim Rutbed on right wing. Rutbed plays it up to Borja. Borja in the right wing corner. In tight for Dale Mitchell. It rolls past Mitchell and Borja in to Papaleo. Joe Papaleo, a graduate of Syracuse University and a big supporter of the Orange Men. He thinks that Syracuse basketball team is the greatest thing since bottled soda pop. Richard Chinapoo, who plays for the Trinidad national team, looking into the corner for Georgie Acosta. Ball out on top. Carpin has it there, but it's cleared off by Bruce Savage.
What's happening right now is Dallas have just put in a new player they've signed in the last couple of days named Marcel Loosveld. He was the MVP in the Netherlands team that I think they won the five-a-side tournament where America did so very well, finishing third. He signed for Dallas now. He was the MVP, highest goal scorer, I believe, in that tournament. He's on the field right now, so it's going to be interesting to see how he does in the Major Indoor Soccer League.
Well, they talked about signing this player. Doc Lawson saw him play in that five-a-side tournament over the Netherlands and said he was the best player in that tournament. We'll see how he takes to the dasher boards, the plexiglass, the plastic rug out here, and a little different arrangement than they played over the Netherlands.
That's right, but I think he looks okay so far. He's only been on the field a couple of minutes, but he looks like a player decade. I think he's going to, once he settles down, it'll take him a few games to do that. I think he's going to be fine.
He's wearing the number 11, Marcel Loosveld. we get a whistle stopping action with 9 minutes and 30 seconds to go here in the first half of play. It'll be foul number 1 on the All-Stars. Each team with a common foul. Dallas with the ball up to the newcomer from the Netherlands, but he's shouldered off the ball by Bruce Savage. Quickly, Chris Vaquero will go to Michael Collins. Michael Collins ridden off the ball hard by Michael King in center, and it's loose for Troy Snyder at his own red line. He's getting high pressure from Jan Goosen, so he goes back to Joe Papaleo. Papaleo, the former goalkeeper for the Tacoma Stars, now in his second year with the Dallas Sidekicks. Valentine, along with Collins, Savage, Clavijo, and Jan Goosen on for the All-Stars. Michael King digs in for another intercept, but taps it out of play, so it'll be a restart right down in front of the near-board dashers in front of the penalty box area. Now, we're looking across from our commentary position to the player bench area. Dallas would be on your right and the All-Stars on your left, and the penalty box area right down in front of us on the near-board side. The All-Stars covering your simulcast from right to left. The Wilson manufactured keeper, they're calling it. And the reason they call the soccer ball the keeper is when it goes in the stands in all the league cities, a number of them are able to be kept by the fans, like a baseball game when a foul ball goes into the stands. However, they've changed the color so many times now, I can't figure out what they're doing now. They're back to an all-white ball up at Tacoma. Here we're playing with the red, black, and white ball here for the All-Star game.
Once you've kicked one ball, you've kicked all of them. I'd just like to make a point here that, you know, Tattoo isn't playing for Dallas tonight. That's most unfortunate. The young man hurt his shoulder last weekend in Kansas City, and I think under the circumstances, not having their best player, Tattoo, playing for them, I think Dallas has done a remarkable job. And in this quarter, it's really, really competitive. A lot of tackling and a tremendous spirited game, which is excellent to see.
Of course, Tattoo, who was the most valuable player of not only the regular season, but the playoffs in 1986 and 87 when Dallas won the championship in 7 games from the Tacoma Stars. Now Dallas trailing at 3-0 with 8:17 to go. Have a free kick. Inside goal, Beto! They found a man open at the far post, and it was Beto.
Well, what happened there? The free kick on the top of the D, Dick, is one of the most interesting parts of this game. What happened there? Chinapu found Beto. Slimmy Whitman was on the weak side, and they just squeezed the ball inside of Slimmy, and Beto nicked the ball in the net very nicely. It was a nice goal.
And that graphic is not correct on the TV side. It's 3-1 in favor of the All-Stars because Roberto Dos Santos has just scored for the Dallas Sidekicks at 6:44 of the second period. As Al said, Chinapu got the assist on the dead ball free kick. So Beto from Chinapu at 6:44, and Dallas is after the All-Stars again with Doc Lawson chipping inside for Carpin, and Carpin getting his boot up, not getting quality leather on it, enabling Chris Vaquero, the All-Star keeper, to collect it and get his distribution off to Segota. Now Preki. Preki tried to cut it back against Chinapu. Chinapu slides the ball away from Preki out in front, and it's loose for Salgado. Make that Georgie Acosta. Acosta left wing side for Mark Carpin. Carpin, who likes to play inside rather than outside, gives it to Kevin Smith, who skies it out of play. Well, we told you about the young men that play in this All-Star game, Salgado, Tim Whitman, and Preki. What about the old guys? Well, Fernando Clavijo is 32 years of age. He's the oldest dressing for the All-Star team. However, Zoltan Toth, who would have been the oldest had he played, is 33. He would have been the oldest selected by the All-Star roster. Chris Sobieski, who will probably play the second half of this game for Dallas, is 38, and he is obviously the oldest playing in this All-Star game. We have a break here in the Reunion Arena. 7:35 to go in the second period. The All-Stars 3, Dallas 1, and we'll have more on the All-Star Soccer Network. Game 3 for the All-Stars and 1 for Dallas. I'm Dick Calvin alongside head coach of the Tacoma Stars, Alan Hinton. Our statistician is Tacoma Stars PR Director Mike Vandenkalk. Delighted to have you along on the simulcast in this one. We're halfway through the second period, and Dallas showing some signs of light here late going in this second period, getting their first goal. Beto scoring from Chinapu at 6:44, and they're still after it, Al.
That's right, and Dallas, they have a saying in Dallas, never say die, and I think it came from that wonderful championship series we had when Dallas and Tacoma had those sellouts a couple of years ago. Big-time series, and they've been called the Never Say Die team, and they're showing exactly that kind of spirit tonight. And what would be very interesting if they could get another goal here That goal incidentally did give them a lot of added enthusiasm and determination, but they're a hard-working team and good work ethic, and they win a lot of games here.
Chinapoo's assist is second in All-Star competition. Chinapoo has been in this Midwinter Classic prior to this game. In fact, he was in 2 other games, in 86 and in 88. So this is his third visit to the All-Star game. Dallas with the ball now, trying to dig it out of their own zone. They are able to get it out to Michael King. Michael King, former All-American in the United States collegiate scene, but he was born in London, England. He has the ball top of the arc, taken down by Savage, and the tackle by Savage will draw a free kick for Dallas right at the top of the arc. 2 fouls now on the All-Stars, and this is where they scored the last time they had the ball here. The 2-man wall of Mitchell and Preki set up. Chinapoo again looking to chip, this time going to Michael King on the far side, but it's intercepted.
That was a little bit of a letter by Phil for the All-Stars there. Savage might have got a 2-minute penalty for that.
Back come the All-Stars. All alone is Dale Mitchell for Ingram, and just too long for Ingram as he put the ball inside the box after he received the challenge from Joe Papaleo. The ball too long for Ingram, and Dallas back the other way. Dallas working from right to left. Preki double teamed with Michael King and Chinapoo, and King will win the ball back from Preki and play it in the center to Doc Lawson. Doc out on the right wing side at the red line, fires away on Vaquero, who stopped it by one hand being stretched out to his right. Ball up for Savage, and then Preki chipping long for Dale Mitchell, but too long up the right wing side. Mike Powers back there to collect it and get it back to his goalkeeper. So Segota, Preki, and Preki for the All-Stars in the first period. Here in the second period, Beto for the Dallas Sidekicks. Doc Lawson, who played in that tournament in the Netherlands, with that familiar double deuce on the back of his uniform. But this uniform is red, not the normal green that Doc wears here for the Dallas Sidekicks. And as we told you, he is now in his 11th year of MISL competition. Chico Borja from the red line finds Godfrey Ingram over in the left wing corner as the All-Stars are back in their attack mode. Now Bruce Savage plays it across to Ingram. One touch back to Savage in center to Fernando Clavijo. Fernando picked up by, that's a new player, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Loosveld. Martial Loosveld. We just found out about him almost at airtime that he was going to play in this game. Borja looking to heel one back to Clavijo as he penetrated the Dallas zone. Clavijo has to stop and play it back to Savage. Now Loosveld putting a little pressure on Bruce. Clavijo will come back, and he's getting pressured by Mark Carpin. So Dallas, as they do so very well, double team the ball and put the high pressure from the midfield stripe into the opposing half. Now Clavijo, after the defense is stretched out, plays it right wing side to Godfrey Ingram. His service off the wall finds Borja on the left side. Borja takes it in deep, plays it for Clavijo, who scores. So Fernando Clavijo scores inside the box with a left-footed, side-footed tap on the service from Fernando Clavijo, who worked it nicely around the left wing side.
Spectacular play by Chico Borja. He stole the ball down the left wing corner, took it into the corner a bit further. He passed the ball when he was ready. He drew Papaleo off of his line, passed the ball neatly back to Clavijo, and Clavijo very calmly stuck it in the back of the net. Nice play by Chico Borja.
Chico Borja, I'll tell you what, he's played in his 4th All-Star game, 6 years in the MISL, born in Quito, Ecuador, but raised in New Jersey. He's played for Las Vegas, Wichita, twice in L.A., and he's currently with Wichita, a member of the United States national team, now a U.S. citizen. That'll be the 3rd assist in MISL competition for Chico. For Fernando Clavijo, he scores goal number 2 in his time as an All-Star in the MISL. Fernando, of course, making his 4th appearance. 4-1 is our score, as Clavijo's first goal from Borja at 10:44 puts the All-Stars up in front with inside 4 minutes to go here in the second period. Richard Chinapoo brings it back right wing side and fires away with that lethal right foot. All Chris Carroll could do was just carry the ball down, and it's loose for Michael King. Michael King now against Tim Whitman down in the left wing corner. Nothing there as Timmy puts the stops to that. He'll play it back to Chinapoo. He'll change it to the right wing side for George Acosta. Acosta tackled off the ball by Kim Runtvedt. So at 3:18, the All-Stars have it back. Runtvedt from his old red line out into center. What a year Michael Collins is having. His second All-Star game, he already has 40 points on the year. He's 7th in the MISL in scoring. Plays for the LA Lasers. Michael Collins, born in Hicksville, New York. To the guy from Copenhagen, Denmark, Kim the Rocket Rudbed, and the ball's played up to Carl Valentine. A foul by Richard Chinapoo, the second of the period on Dallas. So the All-Stars in their blue strip get the restart. Collins just taps it ahead for Eric Rasmussen, gets it right back. Now at the turn of the radius on the right wing side, in tight, just outside the near post to Carl Valentine. Valentine is a Canadian citizen now, but he was born in England. Member of the Canadian national team. Another foul call on Dallas. So another free kick for the All-Stars inside the penalty arc. So a very dangerous situation here.
This is a very dangerous situation. Of course, with all the power that the All-Stars have, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I think the ball's going to be played here to the right here to Fernando Clavillo.
Instead, they go left side to Eric Rasmussen, and he's blocked. Eloy make that Salgado, and it goes up into the stands, so we get a left wing corner kick now for the All-Stars.
Salgado, I'll tell you what, he's tackling everything. 18-year-old kid, he's running everywhere. He's doing a great job for Dallas tonight. It's a wonderful opportunity for him as a youngster to see if he can do the job in this league.
Rasmussen played it outside to the right to Clavillo, and he slashed it across the front of Papaleo's goal. The long rebound is played all the way back to the left-hand side, where Chris Vaquero will come out of his box to play it up for Clavillo, Collins, and Kevin Crow. 4-1 is our score. 2:22 to go in the first half of play. Now Valentine, now with the Baltimore Blast on right wing, cuts it inside at the point, leaves it for Collins. Over for Rasmussen, but intercepted by Troy Snyder. Loose for Michael King, who volleys it up in the air. Collins goes upstairs to head it far aboard side. It's loose, but picked up by the ever-alert Michael King. Michael King off for Salgado, who is dumped by Collins. No call on the play. Chris Vaquero plays it with his feet as the ball was played back to him from center. He'll get it to Crow, however, who will go far board side to Preki. Now Preki, long head-batting pass, searching out Dale Mitchell, who's up there in front with Fernando Clavillo. They get it to Clavillo inside the box, but that's destroyed by Beto, and the ball filters back out to Preki on the point on the right side. His shot is deflected into the waiting arms of Joe Papaleo. Now, a minute and a half to go in the second period. 4-1 All-Stars as Dallas comes back on the attack. Adelphus Doc Lawson. He's not a medical doctor, but he's certainly a doctor of soccer. He's been around a long time. Shot taken by Dallas from the right wing side. Short of the near post. Gibby Rundbed there with the rebound. Up for Rundbed and Preki on the near board side, but Rundbed has to hustle back as the newcomer, Loosveld from the Netherlands, forces him to play it back to Chris Vaquero. Now Preki drops back defensively to bring the ball out to Segota in center. Segota and Preki playing pass, trap, and control. Preki will turn, look upfield, and dribble drive through the center circle. Preki will take on one player, dump there at the red line, and a big sigh of relief comes out of Alan Hinton as his star forward midfielder.
I don't like that, Dick.
Up.
I don't like those kind of tackles, Dick, especially on Tacoma Stars players. Preki, who picked the ball at deep, just put Power, I think it was under a lot of pressure, and Power had no alternative but to bring him down. Preki's up, though. He's a tough player.
He is very, very durable. Preki has missed just a couple of games in his career, 4 years. He has the ball up on left wing. One time coach's decision kept him out, and I think he missed another game because of a minor injury. But other than that, he has been available for his entire 4 years for the Tacoma Stars. Ball played in for Mitchell, trying to set up Segota in the box. Segota somehow got the ball away from Carpin and tapped it wide of the left post, but the very quick Joe Papaleo back there to pick it off the Pines. I would have to think that Joe Papaleo, as far as reaction-wise, might be the quickest goalkeeper in the MISL.
Absolutely right. We had him in Tacoma for a year, and he had a splendid year for us. He is possibly the quickest goalkeeper in the league, and he just wants to get better and looks better all the time. Strange thing is, as the half comes to an end, I think Chris Vaquero has probably made more saves than Joe Papaleo at this stage.
I think he has indeed. In fact, he's had a couple of nervous moments. 4-1 is our score. One of Beto's shots got by Chris Vaquero. We've got just a second to go, and there's the buzzer ending the first half of play. So half of this All-Star game is in the books. This is the 10th edition of this Midwinter Classic. Our score, the All-Stars 4 and Dallas 1. For Dallas and 4 for the All-Stars, and actually I think that's a little bit off if it's shots on goal, because the stats that we received were way different than that. So I'm going to just pass on those stats. I don't know how they got those stats on the graphic, but they are off, so I don't think that I need to tell you about them. We were talking about Hewlett's Thrifty Auto Parking, servicing SeaTac Airport, the corner of 188th and Pacific Highway in Seattle. Thrifty Auto Parking, of course, is where you leave your worries when you leave your car. 24 on-premise security, 24-hour, of course, complete fenced and paved, fully lighted yard. You park your car and keep your keys, and then you take their free luxury courtesy shuttle bus over to your outbound flight, and you go with peace of mind. They take care of all of your requirements, including breaking their backs, handling your luggage. That's Hewlett's Thrifty Auto Parking, servicing SeaTac Airport. Looking at the real stats, 10 shots by the All-Stars, 16 by Dallas. 10 saves for Chris Vaquero, so you were right, Coach. Vaquero had to make 10 saves in that opening half of play. Only one was credited to Joe Papaleo. Papaleo facing the 10 shots, and Vaquero facing 16 of Dallas's shots.
Well, I think Joe, who probably will not play in the second half. I think it's Sobieski's turn. Having said that, I do see Joe out on the field, but he's not going to be playing this half. Chris Sobieski will be in the goal for Dallas in the second half that will begin in a couple of minutes. But Joe had no chance with any of the goals. Chris Vaquero made some wonderful saves, particularly one right on the goal post when it looked almost as if it was going over the line from Mark Carpin, who that was the save of the game so far. Papaleo's outstanding goalkeeper, and the guy that's coming in now, I know he's about 36 years of age, Chris Sobieski, but he's a young man in many ways, excellent goalkeeper, and he's going to have a hard second half too.
Well, he's actually 38 years of age. Again, that goal scoring, Segota from Mitchell, Preki from Mitchell, and Preki from Vaquero in the first period. Then Beto of Dallas from Chinapoo, and finally, at 10:44 of the second period, Fernando Clavijo from Chico Borja. And that's where we stand here at halftime as we ready ourselves for period number 3 of this 10th edition of the All-Star Classic, the midwinter break. 4-1 is our score. All-Stars lead Dallas. Stay with us now. We'll be back with the start of period number 3 right after this timeout on the All-Star Soccer Network. And back here in the Reunion Arena, Dick Calvert along with Alan Hinton and our statistician Mike Vandenkolk as we get ready for the kickoff of period number 3. The All-Stars kick it off. Jan Goossens goes forward. Preki and Branko Segota are in center of the midfield players. Back at the red line, Bruce Savage and Tim Whitman. Chris Vaquero has changed his jersey. Chris Vaquero, if we can get a shot of him on the TV side, I'll tell you what, he is certainly a fashion plate. He started in a green fluorescent shirt, and now he's got a pink, blue and green fluorescent shirt as the All-Stars come down in penetration. 38-year-old Chris Vaquero on the other end. Chris, one of the senior citizens and an outstanding international player out of Poland, born in Wiskity, Poland. He is now 38 years of age, a 5'11", 160-pounder. Chris Sobieski in the nets for the Dallas Sidekicks. Branko Segota will get the ball back to Chris Vaquero, and Chris with a great throwing arm opens up Segota, who made his run up on the right wing side. Here's Segota down in the corner at the turn of the radius. Back for Preki, still on the right wing side, but the ball plays off of Preki and is broken up by the Dallas Sidekicks. We're underway in the third period. 4-1 is our score in favor of the All-Stars under Ron Newman and Kenny Cooper. Meanwhile, Gordon Jago and his assistant coach Billy Phillips working his youngsters into this game. Here's the chance now for Terry Woodbury, and a shot by Carpin after the service from Woodbury, blocked by Chris Vaquero. Terry Woodbury, the youngster from England. Now with a U.S. citizenship, young Terry was born in London. This is his first year in the MISL. Doc Lawson's shot is blocked inside the box. Fielded by Savage. He plays it wide to the nearboard side to Ingram. Ingram up for Preki, and then Preki headmans it for Ingram. Godfrey on a run, broken up at the back in Dallas territory by Beto, the goal scorer for Dallas. He'll chip long for Carpin, make that Carpin. Down in the left wing corner, Carpin marked up by the shadow. Out of Hollywood, Florida, Bruce Savage. And then off for the new player, yes, and I'm told by Michael Vandenkolk, Roosevelt. Marcel Loosveld from the Netherlands took that shot, and I believe that might be his first shot ever as a member of the Dallas Sidekicks, and it'll go out for a Chris Vaquero goal kick. Chris Vaquero, definitely one of the fashion plates in the MISL, and
I've got to tell you, Dick, that's the most spectacular goalkeeper's jersey I've ever seen in my life.
Boy, he could almost go to, to some kind of a formal affair with that thing on, and along with his black pants. Chris will dribble outside, then plays it to Borja in center. Chico Borja on in midfield with Godfrey Ingram. Rasmussen, Eric up front, and back on defense, Kevin Crow and Kim Rundved. Borja plays nearboard side to Rundved. Rundved from Denmark up to a fellow Dane, Eric Rasmussen, who's wrestled off the ball momentarily by Beto. He'll get it back to Rundved in center. In the neutral third now, the All-Stars with the ball. Kevin Crow chipping for Eric Rasmussen. Rasmussen is marked up by Beto, and Beto will win the ball, getting it back to Chris Sobieski. Sobieski has done just about everything in his soccer career. Internationally, he has been a wonderful player here in the MISL. Quite an ambassador of the game of soccer. First outdoors and now indoors. Chris Vaquero again with an outlet. Long pass up to Eric Rasmussen, but Eric can't catch up with it, and the goalkeepers are playing a little catch right now.
Well, the goalkeepers are doing a lot of throwing of the ball. Chris might have been better giving the ball to Godfrey Ingram there. Godfrey was wide open, but Chris tried to go for the home run. But both teams are beginning to look at each other a little bit more now. They started off with abandon, a lot of running, and Dallas did lots and lots of running in the first half, and maybe they might start getting tired as the game goes on. But a very spirited performance by Dallas tonight.
Chico Borja is really run into the pines by Loosveld. So a foul called on the gentleman from Holland. Well, he's learned the game in that respect, and I'll tell you what, Chico Borja getting up a little gingerly and out to attend to it. The All-Star trainer, Dougie Wiesner, who is the longtime trainer of the Kansas City Comets, and I'm sure that Terry Nickel, the head coach of Wichita, who was in attendance, a little apprehensive there as Borja limps at first and then hustles off under his own power over to the bench area. He's replaced by Carl Valentine. Vaquero down on your right, on the left. Chris Sobieski. Mitchell's the post up forward. Michael Collins in midfield now, along with Valentine, Clavijo, and Crow at the back. They go to Mitchell. Mitchell up on the left wing side. Mitchell drops it for Michael Collins. Michael Collins started his career in the MISL with the New York Arrows. He also played with the New York Express. Played with Baltimore. That was his original club. And, of course, now he is really a bell ringer for Keith Tozer and the L.A. Lasers. Again, the All-Stars regroup and collect the ball at the back. Our score 4-1. We're in the third period, and the pace of this game has slowed down a little bit, Al.
Well, it's not surprising. It was a very, very fast first half. It'll get going again, and things are going to be exciting in a little while. So, in the meantime, they're playing the ball around nicely, just waiting for an opening.
This is the 10th edition of the All-Star Game. The first year, 1978-79, the MISL did not have an All-Star Game. Carl Valentine tripping up over the ball, and Kevin Smith will clear his own zone, but he'll peel off and come back to Mike Powers. Now, Mike Powers is quite a study. Mike Powers is 31 years of age, and he is quietly becoming one of the better defenders in this league.
He has improved ever so well the last few years, and now I agree with it, he is one of the better defenders in this league, and he's done an excellent job for Dallas. Nice young man, and he deserves everything he gets out of the game. He is an excellent defender. Michael King with a service from Kevin Smith down in the attacking third for Dallas. Goes against Kevin Crow, spins away from the corner, and then drags it back out to Doc Lawson over the line. Lawson unloads, and Carl Valentine takes all of that Wilson soccer ball on his body. Rebound to Dale Mitchell. Mitchell splits two defenders. Powers and Salgado tries to play the ball off the wall for Valentine, but we get a whistle from official Kelly Mock, and foul number 2 on the Dallas Sidekick. So Valentine from the near board side will restart it. Carl is a member of the Canadian national team. Even though he came from England, he is now a Canadian citizen, and so is Segota on that same team. And Segota, who was born in Rijeka, Yugoslavia, is also a Canadian national team member. So we kind of call Branko affectionately a pseudo-Yugo. That's right, but you know, wherever he's come from, whatever he lives now. He's a wonderful soccer player, and credit to the game. He's having a wonderful season again for the San Diego Sockers. It's a pity he wasn't able to help the Canadian national team more in the summertime, and when they unfortunately got knocked out of the World Cup finals for the 1990 World Cup in Italy. But Branko is an excellent player, both outdoor and indoor.
Michael King now with the ball, gets around Kim Runtbed and takes a shot with the left foot from inside the top of the left point, but that's blocked by Jan Goossens. Continuing with Segota, he is currently 9th in the league in scoring with 39 points on 20 goals and 19 assists. And of course, in this game, Segota has scored the first goal of the game. So he's got another All-Star goal, his 7th in his career. Branko playing, as we told you, in his 7th All-Star game. Corner kick now for Beto and the Dallas Sidekicks. They pull it back out to Powers, and he'll sky one out of play up into the seats. So the scoreboard, with the score showing the All-Stars 4 and Dallas 1, has 8 minutes and 56 seconds to go here in the third period, where the pace of the game has slowed down considerably. Vaquero will get the goal kick, and I'm wondering if Ron Newman will choose to go with Chris Vaquero this entire contest. Originally, it was the two San Diego keepers, Zoltan Toth and Victor Noguera, chosen by the players to be the All-Star goalkeepers, but neither one able to play, and Chris Vaquero of Wichita going so far the distance in the wickets for the All-Stars. Chico Borja along the near-board side, peels away, comes up to the red line, plays it square to Branko Segota. His left-footed drive is blocked on the edge of the crease by Chris Sobieski, and Troy Snyder will dribble drive out of the area up the left wing side before being impeded and fouled by Branko Segota. So Chris Sobieski put to the task. Strong shot there by Branko Segota. Michael King working in the attacking third of the field, along with Mike Powers, who has the ball out on the left point. In tight to Michael King, marked up by Bruce Savage. Back out to Powers on the left. Again, inside to King, just to the right of Chris Vaquero, and that's broken up by Chico Borja, but King finds a loose ball down in the corner. 4-1 is our score as Goossens steps in to intercept. In front of Richard Chinapoo, here's Jan Goossens, another member of the Netherlands aggregation here. Born in Velp, Holland. His shot blocked by Chris Sobieski. Rebound to the far board side. Segota throws Michael King down. Then Segota goes down on a little trip by Eloy Salgado. And Chinapoo will come the other way from left to right. Timmy Whitman drops back, goal side of that ball to mark up Chinapoo. Chinapoo for Beto. Beto inside for Chinapoo. His shot is blocked by Godfrey Ingram. Loose ball fielded in the box by Chico Borja. He'll turn, let Dallas go the other way, and then turn back the other way, heeling it to Chris Vaquero.
Branko Segota has just had an excellent shift in terms of workload there, and Branko's trying to get the pace of this game up and run all over the field and played a very powerful last shift, and he's determined to increase his lead for the All-Stars, and nice to see Branko playing so hard.
Vaquero out of his own zone. Now Preki's on. Preki's on in midfield, along with Ingram, his teammate in Tacoma. But Doc Lawson will strip the ball away from Preki. Preki trying to get stuck in and get the ball away from Doc Lawson, but Preki will foul Doc Lawson. Doc Lawson, as we have told you, and we will repeat it because it bears repeating, his 11th year in the MISL. He's just chipped out of granite. At 6'180", that hardly depicts the physical specimen of Adelphus Doc Lawson. Born in Liberia, West Africa, but he is a U.S. citizen. Represented the United States in that five-a-side tournament in the Netherlands just recently completed. Preki with an intercept for Crow behind the line. Crow off in the middle for Ingram's got Preki on the right. Back drops Doc Lawson and Powers. They go to Preki. Preki's on the right foot, cuts it back to the left foot, takes a shot, saved by Sobieski, but fouled before the shot. So Preki fouled by Lawson over there just inside the right point.
Well, Preki looks as if he hurt his leg a little bit there, and I thought that was going to be a Tacoma Stars combination goal there when Godfrey broke down the field. This is an interesting point here now.
Here's Rasmussen taking the free kick instead of Preki, chipping off the glass inside for Ingram. Loose ball fielded outside by Kevin Crow and then cleared off by Mike Powers. Fernando Clavijo, the consummate defender, will drop back and play it to his goalkeeper. Fernando Clavijo, born in Maldonado, Uruguay, now in his 4th MISL All-Star Game, 7th year in the league. He's won a number of championships. He's got 4 rings to prove it. He was with the New York Arrows to start his MISL career, and many years down with Ron Newman in San Diego. He's with LA now. He had a brief stop with the Golden Bay Earthquakes in the MISL. Now Terry Woodbury down in the corner, but double teamed by Preki and Kevin Crow, and the ball rolls all the way into Chris Vaquero, but Vaquero cannot get it under the tenacity of Woodbury, who gets the ball back to Michael King, who skies it out of play. So we have reached the 5:51 mark of this, the third period. Our score remains the All-Stars 4, the Dallas Sidekicks 1, and we'll return with more third period action on the All-Stars Soccer Network. Lete from the corner, and the ball is blocked out of play by the All-Stars. So Dallas gets the restart, right wing side, with 1:39 to go here in this, the third period. We're coming to you live on the simulcast from the Reunion Arena in Dallas, Texas. Next year, the All-Star Game will be hosted by the San Diego Sockers, and they will play it in the Sports Arena in San Diego, California. Kansas City gets the 1991 All-Star Game. That being decided here at the meetings during this midwinter break. Smith on the restart. Way outside for Chinapu. Inside for Lete. And the Brazilian just barely misses because Chris Vaquero makes a nice save on the ball. His long outlet finds Fernando Clavijo. Clavijo up the left wing side, terminates his dribble and drops it back to Savage in the logoed center circle. Now to Preki, who plays a little ball around Marcio Lete, and Marcio Lete impedes Preki's progress for the foul. That'll be number 4 on Dallas here in the period. Preki again beating Lete down the right wing side. Preki with the right foot crossing, but Doc Lawson knocks it out. It bangs around between a couple of defenders back there. Kevin Smith, one of them, and then picked up by Chris Sobieski. Sobie plays it out, and they get Marcio Lete all alone in center. Finally, he's matched up at the red line by Bruce Savage. Lete in the corner to Terry Woodbury off the wall. Little entrance pass by Woodbury for Marcio Lete, and the ball played out over the back of the goal, over the glass by Fernando Clavijo, trying to get the ball really back to his goalkeeper, Chris Vaquero.
Yeah, Fernando tried a little clever little play there. Unfortunately, overhit the ball, and it's finishing up with a Dallas corner kick here. Dangerous situations. Goals do come from this situation.
Beto will be the player pulling the trigger for Dallas. It's a left wing corner for the Dallas Sidekicks. One-man defense on the edge of the box by Rasmussen and all the rest of the players goal side of that ball. They put it right in. Somehow Beto was able to sneak that ball in on Vaquero, and Vaquero made the stop. Turning it away, and Clavijo brings it out to the red line on the near board side, then plays it back to Chris, and Chris will simply handle, then lay it off on the distribution short to Clavijo, who will square it at the back to Savage.
What's happening here, Dick, is Terry Woodbury, a promising young player, is man-to-man marking Preki, and Preki's running him all over the place trying to get the young man tired.
Eric Rasmussen working against Beto. Puts it inside, looking for Godfrey Ingram, and Terry Woodbury was back there just to the side, the left side of Ingram, and played it back to the keeper. Now Beto up the right wing side. Beto hammers it away, followed up by Chinapu, and Chinapu had that ball come up on him, and that ball seems to bounce a lot more than the balls that have been used in previous years, Al, and a lot of players end up having that ball around their knee and their thigh area.
Well, it comes up the board real quickly, and that's what happened there. And you just react, and it's a reaction play from Chinapu there. Unfortunately, it did bounce a bit too high for him. Dallas have finished real strong in this quarter, and it's going to be an interesting fourth period. It'll be real interesting if the score stays with the same sort of 3-goal lead for the All-Stars when Coach Jago will in fact pull his goalkeeper.
11 seconds is all that remains here in the third period. Vaquero with the outlet to Ingram. Ingram in center. You see that bandage on Ingram's right hand, injured last week during regular season play. And there's the buzzer that ends the third period. And our score remains at 4 for the All-Stars and 1 for the homestanding Dallas Sidekicks. No scoring at all in the third period. So we'll set ourselves for period number 4. That'll be coming your way next on the All-Star Soccer Network. Period number 4, 4-1. The All-Stars leading the Dallas Sidekicks. And earlier, when Chico Borja was shaken up, I had a chance to talk about the trainer of the All-Stars, and he is a veteran trainer in the MISL, Dougie Wiesner. You speak about veteran trainers, you have to be speaking really about the Tacoma Stars' Bruce Snell. Bruce Snell, not only the only trainer that the Stars have ever had since they've been in business in the Major Indoor Soccer League, Bruce also is the owner and operator of the Northwest Center for Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy. And I guess that was a salute for Bruce Snell's clinic. That's the place where the Stars go for physical therapy. Bruce and his staff specialize in sports medicine, but of course they treat all sorts of physical therapy needs. What Bruce expects you to do is first, obviously, consult with your doctor. And then, if you want the top physical therapy treatment in the entire Northwest, call the Northwest Center for Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy at 1004 South K Street in Tacoma, 627-0800. I've known Bruce a long time, and I know you're very proud to work with Bruce, Al.
Bruce is a wonderful trainer and a fine human being. He's had to work about 4 times harder this year, Dick, and I think than any other year he's had to work. We've had so many injuries, and whilst we're here in Dallas this week, I hope we've made some real significant progress with some of our injured players, particularly Brian Smith, and I know we're hoping we can have him back real soon. Bruce has done an outstanding job and just loves the Stars and loves his work in getting people better.
Speaking of work, the two teams are back at work in the 4th period as Losfeld tries one from the left wing side as Dallas is now going across the simulcast from right to left. Ziggy Zagante, who looks like he's going to challenge Chris Vaquero as the fashion plate has taken over in the nets here in the 4th period for the All-Stars. Chris Sobieski down on the right now. Ziggy Zagante of the Wichita Wings in goal for the All-Stars. Plays it all the way up the near board side. Stopped there by Dale Mitchell and then taken away by Kevin Smith. But big Kevin Crow steps in to make the deflection, and I know you think a lot of Kevin Crow.
He's a wonderful player, and I talked with him the other day. When he first came out of San Diego State, he was a central defender outdoor, and I said to him, I said, the composure the young man has now on the ball in every aspect of the game is absolutely spectacular, and I think indoor soccer has really helped that, and Kevin recognizes that in their practices, for instance, at the Sockers. He plays in the midfield, gets as many touches of the ball as he can, and he strokes the ball around now, and it's just a great thrill for us all in the game that's trying to make American soccer real successful all around the world, to see a player like Kevin Crow be as composed and cultured as he is on the soccer field, and of course off the field.
By the way, Joe Papaleo retired after 30 minutes of play. His record was 10 shots, 1 save, and, of course, 4 goals against. Meanwhile, Chris Vaquero, through the first half, was 16, 10, and 1, and then Chris Vaquero went another 15 minutes, making another 2 saves. So he had a total of 12 saves in the ball game, and he has given way to the man in solid yellow pants out there, Ziggy Zagante. 25 shots for Dallas, 12 shots for the All-Stars, but the All-Stars lead it 4-1. We're in the 4th period, inside 14 minutes to play here in this final chapter from the Dallas Reunion Arena. Here's Clavijo for Borja up in the left wing corner. Borja gets around Beto and then crosses, but nobody coming in on right wing. Goosens, however, there to play it back and keep it alive for the All-Stars. Branko Segota at the red line. We haven't seen Preki lately as Segota trips up over the ball. Marked up by Richard Chinapoo and then double teamed by Looseveld. They go inside to Goosens, who's taken down by Troy Snyder. No call there either, and Chinapoo will clear the zone for the Dallas Sidekicks. Farboard side for Mark Carpin. He'll go off, give way, and Beto will bring it forward. Beto right down the slot. He loves the toe poke. Watch it. There he did. He took the toe poke, but it was blocked by Chico Borja. Beto is really the master of the toe poke in the MISL as Marcio Leite goes shoulder to shoulder with Jan Goosens in center. Leite with the ball. Back for Troy Snyder. Young Troy with the ball marked up in the neutral third by Godfrey Ingram. Now square to Doc Lawson in center. He's picked up by Goosens at farboard side to Marcio Leite. Bruce Savage just all over him. You know, Savage, one of the best man-to-man markers in this league, and he's had very few penalties in his career. Out of Hollywood, Florida, started in the MISL with the Phoenix Pride in the 1983-84 season. The youngster, Eloy Salgado, working down in that corner down there, and he's tenacious in the corner, but the All-Stars dig it out. Here's Suitcase Godfrey Ingram looking up to Chico Borja. That's broken up by Dallas. Doc Lawson now takes on Eric Rasmussen. Comes over the red line into the attacking third of the field. Fires away on Ziggy Zagante, and Zagante makes the save at the near post.
That was a rocket shot from Doc Lawson, and he did real well to get into the wide wing position. Terrific shot. Good save by Ziggy Zagante.
The All-Stars the other way from left to right. Eric Rasmussen leaves it for Kim Rudbed, and he tests Chris Sobieski, who kick saves it away. It's loose for Kim Rudbed, however, back at the red line, and now Preki is on in center. Preki has Tim Whitman on the left. Preki working out on top, goes to Whitman left wing side. Godfrey Ingram is inside the box. They go to Ingram as he posts up at the left point, plays it back out to Preki. We get a whistle off the ball, however, and a foul is called. Richard Chinapoo, tackling hard against Godfrey Ingram, draws the foul, and that'll be number 2 on Dallas. So far in this game, it's been fairly penalty-free. Had a couple of early minors in the first half of play. So far here in the second half, no penalties in the game. Goosens went off a 2-minute minor and a 16 foul on the Dallas Sidekicks. No power play goals scored in this one. Here's Preki on the restart for Rasmussen, who is saved by Chris Sobieski, and the ball goes out of play off the upheld hands of Chris Sobieski at the near post. Rasmussen taking that shot from just down inside the right point. So he'll get the corner. S.A. Bahamas working along with Kelly Mock, places the ball down. Rasmussen puts it inside. Timmy Whitten makes the run. That's broken up, however, by Michael King.
One of the big things that happens at this stage of the game when you're coaching an all-star game, Dick, is making sure that all the players don't have a fair amount of playing time. And right now you've got some players trying to stay in the field a little bit too long, and I'm sure Newman and Ken Cooper are very conscious of that. It's very important that players let each other play for an equal amount of time, because but the problem is at the end of this game there's a real big prize for the MVP of the game, and of course players are eyeing that a little bit now, and I would imagine there's 2 or 3 players out there who think they have a good chance to be the MVP, and I think there's a car involved as the prize, isn't it?
Well, one of the MVPs that this league has seen over the years not available for Dallas in this game, and that's the Great Tattoo. He is out of this one, and that would have made a difference. Kevin Smith, his running mate, takes a shot, and as does Eloy Salgado, and both of them miss. And then Kevin Smith hits it upstairs, and he's disgusted with himself because he got a little too under that ball. And I'll explain why a player often, when he's got an open shot like that, will kick it upstairs. What does he do wrong?
What Kevin did there, he obviously saw the big net there. He thought he could score. The ball was on the half volley. He didn't keep his head down. He didn't keep his knee down. And he leaned back as he kicked the ball. His head went up in the air, and that's why the ball almost went into the top deck here. But it's very difficult sometimes for a player in an all-star game when he sees a good opportunity to score a goal. What a thrill that would have been for this crowd here if that young Salgado, the 18-year-old Dallas player, would have scored there. And he had a real nice effort and was a bit unfortunate not to score just then.
27 shots for Dallas in this game, 14 for the All-Stars. 10 blocks for the All-Stars, 5 for the Dallas Sidekicks. And the combination of goalkeepers for the All-Stars have made 16 saves to 5 to the combination of Joe Papaleo and Chris Sobieski. Preki stripped of the ball in center. Georgie Acosta taking the ball away from him there. Back comes Beto, left wing side against Kevin Crow. Plays it up for Acosta. Back to the left wing side on the point to Beto. Beto looking inside, but Fernando Clavijo breaks that up. A steal by Mike Powers, and he tests goalkeeper Ziggy Zagante, but he's a little short of the near post. Kevin Crow back on the attack for the All-Stars. Plays it past Dale Mitchell down in the corner. Mike Collins going for a loose ball at the red line with Acosta. Wins it there to Mitchell. Back out in center now to Fernando Clavijo. Carl Valentine comes on, and Clavijo feeds it up to Carl. Carl certainly had a day against the Tacoma Stars, scoring 5 goals in a game this year, 1 week before Valentine's Day.
That's right. He got 5 goals, Dick, in that game, and we have to make sure he doesn't get 5 goals the next time we play at home, which is against Baltimore on March 12th in the Tacoma Dome. So we've got to mark the people like Carl Valentine very, very closely.
Here's Valentine once again, off for Fernando Clavijo, who fires away. Doc Lawson got the block on that one. Better yet, you better not let Carl Valentine get 5 goals when you play Baltimore this coming Saturday and Sunday. That's the next time out for the Tacoma Stars.
That's right. We've got a heavy weekend, Dick.
Baltimore, Saturday and Sunday for the Tacoma Stars as action resumes tomorrow in the MISL. Here's Carpin playing one back. Matter of fact, looking at the schedule, San Diego's at L.A. tomorrow, and then Dallas goes down to San Diego on Friday. Saturday, Tacoma's at Baltimore. Wichita, Kansas City. Dallas at Los Angeles. And the league continues Sunday, February the 26th, with Tacoma again at Baltimore in an afternoon game. Kansas City at Wichita, and Los Angeles is at San Diego. Our score here in the All-Star game, 4-1. All-Stars leading Dallas.
And it's going to get very tight before the playoffs, Dick. It's going to be a real dogfight before the playoffs, to get in the playoffs, etc., etc. But I think this year the competition has been better than ever, and we want to be in the playoffs in Tacoma, and we've got a little bit of work to do right now to do just that, but we'll be doing everything we can to accomplish playoff play this year.
Ziggy Zagani gets a little back pass from center, the edge of his box from Bruce Savage, and he plays it out to Carl Valentine, who is really pressured by Richard Chinapoo. To Savage near board side, who runs it up to Jan Goossens. Jan with the ball marked up there by Troy Snyder. All-Stars trying to get into the attacking third of the field as Savage steps in and opens up Goossens. Goossens has got Valentine open, back to Goossens. One too many passes, but Savage takes a whack at it from the right point, and it's blocked by Dallas. Dallas doing a marvelous job of defending right now. Here's Segota, denied by Richard Chinapoo. Kim Rutbed with a loose ball in center, plays it around. The new player from the Netherlands, Marcel Losveld. Now Valentine, on the right wing side in the corner, back to Segota. Segota with the captain's armband for the All-Stars. Named captain by his head coach, Ron Newman of the San Diego Sockers, who is coaching this All-Star team, who was with us at halftime in the pregame show. Here's a shot and a goal by the Rocket. Oh, yes. Kim Rutbed, with a record-tying 8 All-Star appearances, has just buried his 3rd All-Star goal.
That was a wonderful Kansas City Comets combination there. Young Goossens got the ball played into him with his back to goal. He waited for Kim Rutbed to run around the back. Beautifully back-heeled the ball to Kim Rutbed, who smashed the ball into the back of the net. That's going to bring a lot of pleasure to David Clement's wife, who I understand is watching this game on satellite dish in their home. David Clements has asked me to mention his wife Karen and his young son Andy will be watching the game, and I'm sure they jumped up in the air when that beautiful Kansas City combination just scored the rocket.
Okay, we have reached the official timeout here in the 4th period. 7-12 remain in this contest, and the All-Stars lead the Dallas Sidekicks 5-1 on the All-Stars Soccer Network. Arena, 5-1 is our score in favor of the All-Star aggregation. Ziggy Zagante looking out to his 2 defenders, Fernando Clavijo and Tim Whitman. In midfield right now, Godfrey Ingram and Chico Borja, and Eric Rasmussen is up in front. Rutbed's 3rd All-Star goal from Goossens comes at 7:48, 5-1 in favor of the All-Stars. For Kimmy Rutbed, who has just had a marvelous career in the MISL. Rutbed now with a total of 20, make that 6 All-Star points. Got 23 regular season points during the season for the Kansas City Comets. Godfrey Ingram now trying to clear the ball, but Chinapoo has it. Ingram trying to get it in on Sobieski, gives it back to Eric Rasmussen, who fires away. Godfrey trying to pull that ball out, and it was posted up. Now, that's something he doesn't often do with the Tacoma Stars. Godfrey plays pretty much on the width of the field and takes on players one-on-one. Here he's posted up. Now he's working with Rasmussen, who will put it in the back of the net. Eric Rasmussen, as he can do so very effectively, that quick release, Al, and he just took his man on and then whack, a quick release, and it's to the far post and a goal for the All-Stars. They now lead it 6-1.
That was a pretty goal in the end by Rasmussen, who showed great composure on the ball. It was a little bit unfortunate because Michael King broke out of defense for Dallas, but turned around and passed the ball to Rasmussen. So unfortunate pass from Michael King, but Rasmussen took the ball. It was a 2-on-1 situation for the All-Star team, and Rasmussen beautifully passed the ball into the far post and scored.
6-1 is our score. 19 shots now for the All-Stars, 27 for Dallas. The All-Stars have this one in hand with 5:54 to go here in this final period. That's Rasmussen's 3rd All-Star goal, and it was unassisted at 9:01. Ballots will now be distributed around the press box for the most valuable player, and that should be interesting. Here's Dale Mitchell, broken up by Mike Powers, and here's a chance for Chico Borja, who goes over the top of it looking for the header after it was served in via the head by Kevin Crow. Mitchell steals. Collins feeds Mitchell, broken up by Doc Lawson. Now to Eloy Salgado, far board side. He turns around from Mike Collins and squares it to the near side here to Mike Powers, and Mike will dribble up. He's got Beto to the near board side. Beto will circle around. They'll go up for Michael King, but stepping in front of King, 2-time Defender of the Year Kevin Crow to give the All-Stars the ball, but Dallas will get it right back, as so often happens in this game of indoor soccer. We mentioned that the field is 200 feet long by 85 feet wide. The midfield area now 100 feet in width, or I should say in length, still 85 in width.
I'd just like to make a point again, going back to the Rasmussen goal. To score the goal, you don't always have to hit the ball real hard. You can pass the ball into the net with composure, and sometimes it's the best way to do it rather than trying to break the case of the ball and trying to hit it too hard. But that was a great type of pass into the net by a good player, Rasmussen.
Rasmussen has been in the All-Star game 5 years. He's been in the league 5 years. He spent his entire MISL career with the Wichita Wings, and he was the 1988 MVP and scoring leader. Beat Preki by a point on the final game of the year, scoring against the LA Lasers. Preki now leads all in the Major Indoor Soccer League in scoring as a shot by Troy Snyder is collected inside the crease by Ziggy Zagante, and the Yugoslavian goalkeeper is going to be whistled for a delay of game, holding it too long. Preki has 63 points in 31 games on 33 goals and 30 assists to lead all. Dale Mitchell is the number 2 scorer at present. Dale Mitchell of Kansas City with 52 points, followed by Chico Borja with 45 points. And then Hector Marinero with 44 points. Hector Marinero of LA not in this All-Star game. A 6th attack now for Gordon Jago's Dallas Sidekicks as Kevin Smith comes in for Chris Sobieski, puts on the goalkeeping strip, so he is the designated goalkeeper. And on the free kick, it's 6v5. The free kick by Smith in for Salgado. Tight for Carpin, off the wall by Salgado. Rebound to Segota. Branko up for Dale Mitchell. He's all alone against Smith. Mitchell off for Preki. Preki going for the hat trick, and it's broken up by Mike Powers, I believe. Preki had an opportunity to go hat trick. Here's Segota firing away into very athletic Kevin Smith making a kick save on the play.
I would have thought, Dick, that if Preki would have scored then, he would have been assumed for the MVP award. You know, maybe he thought it was already in the net before, and he didn't have to do very much about it. But it's getting towards the end of the game, and it would have been nice if Preki could have scored his 3rd goal there. Certainly deserves it.
He has had a hat trick in the MISL All-Star Game. He is one of 7 players to score. Or I should say, one of 7 hat tricks prior to this game. Preki's got 2 goals in this contest. And the only player that does have 2 goals, matter of fact. Mitchell has 2 assists. He assisted on the first 2 goals. The first one to Segota at 25 seconds into the match, and Preki's first goal at 5:06 of the first period. We have inside 3 minutes to go, and this one 6-1 is our score. The All-Stars now coasting here in the Reunion Arena. Dallas on the 6th attack with Chinapu and Kevin Smith around the perimeter. Doc Lawson on the right. Inside, Beto has the ball, tapped away by Clavijo. Salgado and Carpin also in on this 6th attack. Carpin, of course, poaching, and make that Georgie Acosta, not Salgado. Georgie Acosta plays it deep in the corner to Carpin. Carpin down in the left wing corner will drag it back out to Chinapu. Chinapu with the ball as time runs down here. The fans want a shot, and ironically enough, they are showing their displeasure because of no shots. So Acosta will take one, and Ziggy Zagante, first name Nanad, will make the save. Off for Preki, up for Segota. Segota now blows by the defender Acosta down in the corner. Terminates his dribble after he's double-teamed there by Chinapu and Acosta, and Chinapu will win the ball away from the Stallion of San Diego. But a loose ball in center is fielded by Clavijo. Now Savage chipping for Jan Goosens, but it's headed out by Doc Lawson. Minute 50 and counting here in the 4th period. Richard Chinapu, who played for his country, Trinidad, this year. Off for Doc Lawson. Lawson back to Chinapu in the corner. Chinapu marked up by Bruce Savage. Back out over the line to Roberto Dos Santos. Beto around the carpet and in tight for Acosta, but that's broken up by the All-Stars, and they try to clear the zone. And Segota went off, and it's a loose ball for Chinapu. He'll center for Lawson. Big Doc wanting to turn there on Fernando Clavijo. Can't, drags it out to Chinapu. He'll fire away, and Ziggy comes off his line to kick save it up and over the glass to the near board side and out of play for a Dallas restart.
I'll tell you what, you've got to take your hat off to this Dallas Sidekicks team. They've given everything they could possibly give. They didn't have Tattoo in their team tonight. They are still, at this late stage of the game, determined to try to get another goal scored this evening, and only an excellent kick save by Zagante kept that ball out of the back of the net. But it's a great spirited performance by Dallas, and I really appreciate the attitude that they've come out and played this game in.
Here's Acosta with a shot just outside the box and to the right of Zagante, blocked by Valentine, and then won by Rasmussen away from Smith in center, who will put it in. No, but Whitman will. Yes. Eric Rasmussen with the open net tried to curl one in from right wing, but the hustling Baltimore Blast Timmy Whitman followed it up for the 7th goal. With a minute left in the game, Tim Whitman has scored his first ever MISL All-Star goal. And as we told you, Timmy, who is playing in his 2nd All-Star game, has been a stalwart for the past 8 years in Baltimore, and he's having his best ever year in the MISL.